human, did you just get a jumping spider and you're wondering how to handle it safely for everyone? Well, this video is for you. So in this video I'm going to walk you through the entire process of handling a jumping spider step by step, mostly because when I first got into the hobby of keeping jumping spiders and handling jumping spiders, I was kind of trying to search for information, especially regarding handling them, because side note, it was my very first time handling any spider in general, so I was really freaking out, you know, and it was a little bit tricky to find information on that or find people talking about it very much or showing it on camera. So I'm basically gonna do you a favor today and just tell you all about it in this video. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do before handling your jumping spider is wash your hands just with water. This is very important because any type of soap or lotion residues can be toxic or irritating to your spiders, and we do not want that. Next up, you are gonna want to create a calm environment for the spider. What does that mean? Well, you want to make sure that there are no pets in the room with you, for example, especially like dogs or cats, you know, because we want to avoid any type of accidents that can be really fatal for our spiders, right? Also, make sure you have your windows closed because you do not want any type of like sudden air rushes and stuff like that, because spiders are very sensitive in that regard. So the next thing you want to do is to choose a safe spot for handling a spider. So the safe spot is usually some spot that is low to the ground. So for example, I would suggest either the bed if you have a large enough bed, or on the floor, but without too much clutter around you, or for example like a sofa or something where the spider can run away to or hide or something. We do not really want that. You want to be able to have some sort of like open area where you can keep an eye on your spider and also have a little bit of control in case it starts running like crazy after it gets zoomies or something. I don't want to scare you too much, but jumping spiders are a little bit crazy, okay? Let's say the things as they are. That being said, you want to make sure you have a catch cup ready with you. This is obviously in case the spider gets zoomies and just starts running around. You want to have something to like put on top of it, not on top of it, to put over it basically to stop it from running, wait until it chills down, and then be able to put it back in the enclosure. It's always better to be safe than sorry, so please always have a catch cup ready just in case, okay? Just in case. Thank me later. And the last thing I want to mention before we get into the actual handling of our spider is be sure you have some time to spare, because with spiders you really need some sort of patience, and we will talk about it in just a moment. But just don't try to handle your spider when you know that you have to, I know, leave the apartment in like 10 or so minutes, because that might be a little bit complicated. So you will know what I talk about now. So with all that being said, and if you checked all these points, you're now ready to try and handle your spider. So how do you go about it? So I normally sit on my bed, like in the middle, in the center of my bed, basically. So I have that open area, as I told you, to keep an eye on my spider in case anything happens. I basically put enclosure in front of me, and the first thing that you want to do, the first thing that I do, is simply open the enclosure, and that's it. Open the enclosure and wait. There are people who are gonna tell you, just open the enclosure, put your hand in. I'm going to dare and advise a little bit against it. Why? Because sometimes these spiders can get a little bit like freaked out, especially if you haven't handled them before. They can just get zoomies and stuff, okay? So what I like to do now, of course, you do you. If you choose to do it differently, it's completely your thing. Just be careful with your spider and, you know, just be responsible about it. Anyway, so I open the enclosure and I basically wait a little bit to see whether the spider feels like exploring. So I just basically see whether he wants to come out, and that might take a while. Hence why you need to be patient and why you need to have some time left. I like to give my spiders their space and their free will, kind of. I want to see what they want to do, not just me kind of like invading their personal space, you know what I mean? But also I'm a little bit annoying here when it comes to respecting the spiders. You will get used to it if you subscribe to my channel. So let's say your spider seems interested in like coming out or exploring or something. Now, what I would do and what works for me and what worked for me the first time my oldest jumping spider allowed me to handle him is you want to put your hand closer to the spider, but I need to point out two very important things here, two very important keys. So first thing that you need to make sure of is that you need to move your hand slowly. Please do not make any sudden rush movements because they will freak your spider out, probably. Jumping spiders have very good vision, and when they see something moving really abruptly, they get stressed, they freak out. We do not want freaked out spiders. And the second very important thing, never ever try to move your hand higher than your spider is currently, because again, that will freak them out. And that's completely understandable, because like imagine if you are this teeny tiny spider and there is this huge human hand approaching from the top. It's terrifying. Okay, do not terrify your spider. What you want to do instead is try to approach it from below, kind of, or maybe at the same height as the spider is. Alright, so your hand is now close to the spider. The spider did not freak out. He's curious. He's looking at your hand. Great, congratulations. Now, the spider might be interested in like touching your skin a little bit, maybe, but also he might just not be interested in that, and that's okay. And here comes me just being annoying with it again, but I will just say it. You need to respect your spider. No matter how bad you want to handle him, no matter how bad you want to take a picture with a spider on your hand, if the spider doesn't feel like going on your hand, do not force him. Okay, please do not force him. Again, side note, there will be people who will tell you can just tap his leg or something, or just tap him very gently with a paintbrush to kind of like encourage him to move in a direction you want him to move. You do you, just be careful with your spider. I personally don't really do that unless I have to rehouse or something, because I just like to respect my spiders. Okay, hate on me for it, I don't know. But anyway, let's say that the spider is in fact interested. Let's say the spider did actually get on your hand. Well, now what do you do? Very important thing here, you need to stay calm. So please, no abrupt movements. You really need to, just let the spider to kind of like gain some trust with you. The spider needs to feel calm, and he needs to feel that you are not a threat to him. And the second very important thing is keep your hand low to the ground, low to the bed, low to the ground, wherever you are, because you do not want to hurt your spider accidentally, because the spider might fall or something, even though jumping spiders tend to kind of like secure themselves with a web they make, but you still want to keep your hand low to the ground. Second thing is, if the spider chooses to like run, you have your catch cup ready. With that being said, you also need to know when it is time to stop the handling. If it's your first time handling or first couple of times handling or whatever, you really want to keep it down to like a couple of minutes to not stress your spider too much. Another thing that I might be a little bit annoying with, but spiders are not toys. When you, for example, notice that your spider all of a sudden gets a little bit restless and he tries to escape, he tries to run really quickly, really erratically, he starts jumping really erratically or something like that, you want to stop the handling in that moment. Or also, you need to really be like checking your spider's responses. Very important. Again, spider is not a toy, it's actually a living, breathing creature, and it can kind of let you know when it's not comfortable with you or with your handling, or if it's just time for him to just stop. That can be also if the spider threat poses you. In my experience, they normally just start running like crazy. My oldest jumping spider gets the zoomies when he feels like that's enough. But they can also threat pose you. A threat pose is normally them kind of like throwing two of their front legs in the air and basically staying still. If the spider does that, stop the handling. So with that being said, how do you put the spider back in the enclosure when the handling is over? What I normally do is that I just kind of like put my hand closer to the enclosure, and the spider normally tends to just jump back in the enclosure. Sometimes he doesn't jump right there, so again, you need to be patient. You can also tap him and whatnot, what we just talked about in like a moment ago. I like to just wait until he jumps back in. I don't really like to, again, force my spiders to do anything, so I just put them closer to the enclosure. I'm like, okay, here is the entrance. Now, whenever you are ready, baby boy. basically. And they normally will jump back into enclosure. In case they got zoomies and you had to like catch them in a catch cup, I would normally suggest waiting a little bit until they chill down, because again, my older spider tends to do that. He tends to get the zoomies, and when I put him in the catch cup, he normally chills out almost immediately and he just starts grooming himself and whatnot, and then he's completely chill and he just goes in the enclosure without any issues. So you want to wait a little until they chill down, and then you just either put the catch cup in the enclosure if it's smaller than the enclosure, obviously, and if not, you just try to guide them in there again, either with a paintbrush or just kind of like maneuvering the catch cup and kind of like guiding the spider that way. I don't know if you can like understand what I mean by that, but I hope you do. I need you to go in the enclosure because you got zoomies. Come on. No, not on the catch cup. No. No. In the enclosure. Let's go. Let's go. Go on the mushroom. Go. Go on the mushroom. Hey. See, this is what it's like. Like he just had zoomies. Now he's like, no, I'm completely chill. I'm the best spider ever. But I will not go in the enclosure, will I? Onyx, can you... No. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, very good. Can you stay there so I can close the door on you? You're actually, sir, you're gonna have to move from there. No. No. Not going out now. And that's it, you handled your jumping spider. Hopefully it goes successfully. One extra thing I would suggest is that after handling, I would offer them a fruit fly or two, just as a way to like, you know, kind of like thank them for their time and be like, hey, you endured this handling, so here is food, you know. Even though actually I must say I kind of like cheat in that regard, because my oldest jumping spider, he is not really a handling lover, and sometimes he does come out of the enclosure and on my hand when I offer him a fruit fly on my hand. But that's a little bit of a side note. I really wanted to let you know the process of handling without using fruit flies as, you know, a cheating trick. So anyway, with that being said, I hope I covered everything. It's not really that difficult, you just need to be prepared and ready for it. Just please do not handle jumping spiders around pets or when you are in some busy kind of areas, or if you are about to leave, because that might be stressful both for you and for the spider, and that's not the goal now, is that. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section. Like this video if you liked it and consider subscribing if you are not already. Also remember, I have an Instagram where I post daily jumping spider content. It's saltyciday.magic with K in the end. I hope to see you there. And yeah, I think now that would be it from me for this video. So stay kind, stay punk, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye, jumping spiders!